I'm going to jump straight into it. Thank you all for joining me for today's live cocktail hour. And a massive shout out goes to the team from Liber & Co for helping put this on, for creating the ebook and the shopping list and everything like that. I've been using their products for quite some time. Not easy to get a hold of here in Australia, so I've been very fortunate to have their whole range of products. All their syrups, they've been making syrup since 2011, and I've been starting to do a bit of work with them now, and I absolutely love their syrups. So hence why we've teamed up together to put this on today, and we're going to be running through 7 cocktails that feature their syrups. Obviously, if you don't have them available, you can do some substitutions or you can work things out. But all the cocktails today will be highlighting 3 particular syrups from Liber & Co. We'll be using their almond orgeat, their pineapple gum, and their Yakima Valley peach syrup. Excellent. They've done a bit of a rebrand or a rebottling recently, so yeah, I've just got all brand new bottles good to go. We've been sparing our green chartreuse as much as possible. Yes, I do have one cocktail that has chartreuse in it, so that's good. I'm using yellow chartreuse, not the same as green, I know, but still, you make do with what you can. Imperial Measures does a really good green chartreuse sub if you're based in Australia. Yes, a local distiller here. They make, it's called Overt. It's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started into the first cocktail so I can have a drink in hand and hopefully you guys can join in too. The first one is, pull all the ingredients out. Can you see everything on the screen? Just checking, have you guys got a visual? For some reason, just give me a thumbs up if you can actually see me. I'm just worried that it stopped. Yep. Cool. I have once gone live to host a workshop before, and I noted judge some cocktails, and I went for an hour before I even noticed that I didn't hit live, and literally no one was watching me. I was just talking to myself in my studio. Okay, back to the cocktail. This one here is called the Honey Cakes. So Liber, the name of Liber & Co. is inspired by a Roman god. The Roman god of, I have to double check this, of viticulture, growth and freedom. It's actually the little image on the top of all their bottles. So Liberalia is a celebration, an ancient Roman celebration, which is on the 17th of March. And this live cocktail hour is to help celebrate Liberalia, Liber & Co.'s first annual celebration for that festivities. So what better way to do it than make some cocktails? So this one here, honey cakes were apparently a common thing in this ancient Roman celebration. So the team from Liber & Co. created this cocktail basically inspired by the honey cake. So you've got cognac, lemon juice, honey syrup, and orgeat. So let's get straight into it. And I also have to mention, I will be singing the praises of Liber & Co. Quite a bit during this live stream because I'm very thankful for what they've done for me and putting this on and everything. They do have a big sale on for the week of Liberalia, 20% off site-wide. So if you're looking for syrups and you're based in the States, then go check it out. You've got your recipe up here on the screen. You want to start off with 2 ounces, 60 ml of cognac. Brandy, if you don't have a cognac. Yeah, if any of the Liber & team are in the comments, give us a pineapple emoji and let me know so I can recognize your name, introduce yourself to the guys. I'm sure they'll be in here in the comments, so if you guys have any questions about their range, then I'm sure they can jump in and help. Then we have 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 ml of lemon juice. I'm using pseudo lemon juice. If you guys aren't familiar, check out pseudo lemon juice. It's basically, that is 1 lemon. I've had some added water and acids and everything like that. It essentially extends the shelf life of your juice, your citrus juice, and obviously it makes a lot more yield. So rather than getting 30, 40 mil from one lemon, I've got 250 mil. Excellent, excellent way to extend your citrus. Then we're going with half an ounce of honey syrup. They specifically say a 2-to-1 honey syrup. I'm using a 3-to-1, so I've poured just under half an ounce. And a fresh bottle of almond orgeat. So almond orgeat, they use whole almonds, they blanch them and they roast them. Roast them brings out more of the flavour, and this is excellent. Well, excellent, it's a requirement in a Mai Tai. So 1/4 ounce, 7.5 ml of almond orgeat. It's also got some orange blossom in there, so it has a touch of like a little floral note to it, and bit of almond oil, which gives it that marzipan note. And before I shake it, I'm going to prep the glass and give it a sugar rim. Ah, Christina. How you doing, Christina? I've received a few emails from you recently. And I've watched you on the Library & Co channel. Everyone, say good day to Christina. You want to rim the glass, so I've just got a small bowl of sugar, the butt of a lemon, wet the ends. Super simple. I don't have to go into too much depth on how to add a sugar rim, but that's pretty good, I think. All right, ice the shaker. Give it a shake for 10 to 12 seconds. So not only for the regular viewers of the channel, but thank you to fans of Library & Co that have probably joined this workshop, this live cocktail hour, through the Library & Co team. So thanks for joining. And yeah, if you don't know me, my name's Steve, aka Steve the Bartender. I make cocktails for a living, and I try and make the process simple so people can recreate cocktails at home. Question. Someone's asking about a margarita with aloe vera juice. I've actually never played around with aloe vera, so I can't really comment. I think it went through a bit of a phase going back a couple of years ago, where everyone seemed to be using aloe in cocktails, in drinks. Right, there we have the honey cakes. Real simple drink, 4 ingredients, 5 if you want to include the sugar rim, which I think is probably fairly crucial to the drink. You've got the honey and the almond notes to recreate that honey cake flavour. I love the shake and smile. Shucks, thank you. I do have some haters of the smile. The honey cakes. Admittedly, I'm teaching you guys how to make some cocktails. Some of these I haven't made before, so live responses. Oh, yum. I need to be eating a honey cake so I can do a side-by-side comparison. Haters of the smile, that's absolute blasphemy. I like how I think I'd like to bump up the acid a tiny little bit, but you really get that almond and honey note coming through. Works beautifully with the warming cognac. Ooh, honey and almond. That is delicious. Off to a cracking start. That's a good one. That's a winner. For those that didn't join very early on, I'm running through 7 cocktails in total. Originally it was going to be 6, with one being a maybe, but the last one I'm really keen to make. I only recently discovered it, so keen to share with you guys. Next cocktail, Lucky Day. One with a little bit of Green Chartreuse. So it's going to have some herbal notes to it. Bit of lime juice and pineapple gum syrup. So pineapple gum syrup, pineapple and green chartreuse, those two flavors work surprisingly well together. This also, let me just double check. Bit of basil, got my basil ready there as well. I've taken charge with this one, and instead of using a London Dry style gin, I've switched up to my gin, and I'm using Tom Yummy, which is Southeast Asian inspired, so lemongrass, ginger, lime leaf, because I think it will pair quite nicely with the herbal qualities of the green chartreuse, the lime, we've got lime in here, and pineapple as well. It's kind of those Asian style flavors, maybe not the green chartreuse, but I think they line up quite nicely and it will work well in this particular drink. Ooh, fresh bottle as well. So 1.5 ounces, 45 ml of your preferred gin. And for those who have tried green chartreuse, I'm sure many of you have, 1/4 ounce. Only need a small touch to provide plenty of flavour. Sits at about 55% ABV, so it's a really strong flavoured herbal liqueur. We have fresh lime juice, 1/2 ounce, 15 ml. And pineapple gum syrup. So Library & Co.'s pineapple gum syrup uses Costa Rican pineapples that have been juiced. So 60% of this bottle is actually pineapple juice. And then they use gum arabic. I'm not sure if they use gum arabic in all their syrups or a lot of their syrups, but gum arabic is a emulsifier, stabilizer, thickening agent. So it doesn't add flavor or aromatics or anything like that. It just provides a lot of texture and a lot of body. So if you have a bottle of their syrup, you'll notice that it's really quite thick, it's viscous. And that translates into the end cocktail, so it'll provide a really nice mouthfeel. So that's 1/2 ounce of pineapple gum syrup. Probably, I don't know if you can see on camera, but like even pouring it out, you can just see it's got texture, it's got body. But yeah, the whole philosophy behind Library & Co. is using just like the freshest ingredients. So I've got one basil leaf, and I've got this very cool looking glass as well to serve it in. How many people have got? 276. Welcome to anyone that has just joined us. We're in the process of making the lucky day. 10 to 12 seconds, give it a shake. For anyone who didn't see the pinned comment, or who has just joined, check out the description for the cocktail, for the video, sorry, for the live stream, and you can get access to the cocktail recipe book, which has a shopping list if you want to recreate all these cocktails later on. If you aren't joining in as we're going right now. If you're solo, 6 or 7 cocktails is probably a few too many. So for this one, I'm looking for those intense herbal qualities from the green chartreuse, but then brightened up with the herbaceous note of the basil, the citrus, and of course that pineapple gum syrup. And as far as garnish goes, basil in the drink, just float a basil leaf on top, nice and simple. That is a cool looking glass. It is a very cool looking glass, but it is incredibly fragile. You imagine like you just give us this stem, the slightest tap in the wrong direction. I think I had 4 of these, and now I've got 1 left. So, and they're a bit unstable. The lucky day. Cheers, guys. Oh, that's definitely warming. Those flavors, combination of lime, pineapple, and chartreuse, especially the chartreuse and pineapple, works amazingly well together. Oh, but as with most cocktails that feature green chartreuse, I feel like green chartreuse is still the hero. It's the one that still stands out the most, because even though it's only a 1/4 ounce, it's a tiny little measure, but it's a brute of a liqueur. It sits at 55%, loads of herbs and spices in there. So don't get me wrong, it's delicious. But green chartreuse takes over a little bit. In all cocktails, I'm not saying this one in particular. That's yum. Is that gin available in Canada? Unfortunately not, sorry. Only Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong. All right, we're on to cocktail number 3, guys. Maybe I need to slow things down a little bit. Lucky Day is delicious. Yeah, put your hand up if you've made it. If you've made either of those first couple of drinks. If you've made both of them, let me know which one you prefer. I'm keen to hear. Next one, so the majority, we've got 6 shaken cocktails. This next one is a stir down. And when I read it, I thought it was a shaken cocktail. I got super excited. And then I was even more intrigued by, like I was envisaging this drink with a little bit of lemon juice. So it was more on the sour side of things. But this is a stir down, so it's a boozier drink. And it's intrigued me because, first of all, it's got Benedictine, which is my favorite liqueur of all time. But then it's paired with a peach syrup, Yakima Valley peach syrup, which I haven't tried too many stirred down drinks with a fruit syrup in it, or particularly with a peach syrup. So I'm intrigued, very intrigued. By the way, if you make a lot of cocktails at home, and you have guests over or anything, look into buying a milk jug rinser. You can get one that just fixes on, you plumb it in and attach to the side of your sink. I've installed one. Oh, it's brilliant, so good. All right, stir down. So I don't even know why I'm getting my tins out. There we go, that's better. So we have cognac and rum. I'm using Pierre Ferrand amber cognac. So an ounce of each. So we're splitting we are splitting the base. Nice warming cognac. And then we have an aged rum. I'm specifically using a aged Jamaican rum. It's got a little bit of age on it, so it's a bit darker. 12-year-old and Jamaican, so it does have some of that like typical sort of Jamaican funkiness, but it's been aged and matured in barrels for 12 years, so it's subdued, but it's a full of flavoured rum. And then we have Benedictine, honeyed herbal notes with this liqueur, so a 1/4 ounce. Even this in itself, that combination, oof. Then we have half an ounce. Half an ounce. Is it half an ounce? Oh, sorry guys, I'm going to double check this. Just want to make sure I've got it right. Yes. Half an ounce of Yakima Valley peach syrup. Again, with this particular syrup, raw juice. So they have peaches from Washington's Yakima Valley. They juice it and then they add cane sugar, gum arabic as well. So half an ounce, 15 ml. And a pinch of salt. I've got a saline solution, so I'll do 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should equate to a small pinch. Fill it with ice. Oh, that peach syrup smells absolutely wild. Like real, like stone fruit, peachy, floral, kind of honey vibes going on. And I think the honey vibes from the peach, the stone fruit, pair nicely with specifically the cognac, but also the Benedictine. I can understand how this flavor combination can come together. Don't have any peach syrup, may have to sub passion fruit syrup. Yeah, that could work. But like I said, I think the stone fruit flavors work well with the matured spirits. Passion fruit, I feel like passion fruit is paired more towards like a white spirit, like a gin or something. In saying it, give it a shot and let me know. This drink sort of reads like a B&B. So for people that don't know, B&B is brandy and Benedictine. So yeah, I guess it could be a bit of, yeah, it's a bit of a riff on a brandy and Benedictine. Chilled glass. Can even see the viscosity of the liquid. I'm pouring it. And then I want to finish this one off with a twist. I've already got a used piece, so I might do a coin instead so I don't waste a lemon. Express the oils over the top. Oh, that was lots of oil. Used a coin to express the oils, and then something a little bit more delicate just to float in there. All right, there we have the Goodnight Peach. So we have a little bit, I've got some more info about this particular cocktail. Oh, FYI, the person from Trinidad, that one's coming up next. Goodnight Peach. That colour is wicked, nice and peachy looking. Beautiful, like honeyed, herbal honey notes on the nose. It's good, it's good. Yeah, when I first read this ingredients, I just automatically went sour. Like with a little bit, this would actually work quite well with lemon juice and served in a sour style. Yeah, really stone fruit, honeyed herbal notes coming through. Really quite textural as well. Greetings from Switzerland. Welcome. It's so awesome to see people from just like all over the place. Okay, next cocktail. I'm flying through these cocktails. We have the Port of Spain. Some people might be familiar with the Trinidad Sour. I believe this is probably based on that or a variation on it. Trinidad Sour was the original home of Angostura bitters. Sorry, Trinidad was the original home of Angostura bitters. And Port of Spain is the capital of Trinidad, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So therefore, this is a variation. The Trinidad Sour called for, off the top of my head, 1.5 ounces of Angostura bitters. So a lot of Angostura bitters, half an ounce of rye whiskey, orgeat and lemon juice maybe. And that was a bit of a game changer cocktail because people realised that you can actually use Angostura in bigger ratios and use it as a main ingredient as opposed to using it as like just a flavouring agent. So this cocktail, we're subbing out the rye whiskey for mezcal and changing the ratios around, so it's a little bit heavier on the mezcal as opposed to the Angostura bitters. So we have Espadin, mezcal, have orgeat. Get them in the order just to make it nice and easy. Yeah, so all these cocktails are really nice and simple. And I think when you're making simple drinks, the importance is you have to focus on the ingredients that go inside it. Nice and flavoursome, like using good, in this case, using good quality mezcal, using good quality syrups that have tons of flavour, because you're only using a few ingredients, so they need to be good. Don't know why I'm chilling some glasses and not the others. Mix things up. Don't need my saline anymore. All right, so we have La Luna Mezcal. This particular company sent me a whole bunch of samples quite some time ago, and it was very, very cool to see they use the same production methods, same distillation methods, but they just used different agave varietals. So I had 6 different bottles that I could try that were just a different agave species, and the mezcal was worlds apart. It really kind of opened my eyes doing a side by side. So 1.5 ounces, 45 mil. Then we have half an ounce of Angostura. So if you want to, you can take off this little lid here, but I'll just do 100 dashes or whatever it takes to do half an ounce. Actually, not too many. Angostura bitters, obviously going to add that cinchona bitterness, then also like clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, so a lot of spice into the cocktail. So we've got earthy, smoky mezcal paired with all that spice from the Angostura. We have 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice and a whole ounce of almond orgeat. So I think I mentioned earlier, the almond orgeat, they roast the almonds, which just extracts more flavour or intensifies the flavour. 1 ounce, 30 ml. See, it's simple as that. I love simple drinks. Simple drinks, yet lots of flavour. Oh, a bit more ice. Yeah, whenever you shake a cocktail, lots of ice. The more ice, the better. It's going to aerate, it's going to chill, it's going to dilute in 10 seconds. If you put like a couple of cubes in there, if you skint on the ice, then the cocktail's not going to come out the same. John, good question. Do you have to refrigerate the syrups after opening them? Yes, you do. If you want to get the maximum shelf life out of them, absolutely. In saying that, the amount of sugar, this is, I'm pretty sure the ratios here are either the same or very similar to a rich syrup. So 2 parts sugar to 1 part juice, other ingredients. So the sugar content will help preserve it, but these also, some of them have acids and everything like that, which also act as preservatives. So whilst you do have to refrigerate, these syrups last an incredibly long time. A 1-to-1 syrup, and it also depends on how you store it, what you have in your fridge. If you have, I don't know, moldy lettuce in your fridge, then those mold spores are going to spread throughout your fridge. Whereas if you have a clean fridge, or you have a fridge specifically for bar ingredients, the ingredients are going to last a long time. Make sure the lids are on, keep them in the fridge nice and cold, then you're fine. They'll last a very, very long time. There we have the Port of Spain, assuming this is inspired by the Trinidad Sour. So mezcal, Angostura, smoky, spicy, earthy, with that kick of citrus and almond. You always get an interesting color when you use that much Angostura. It's so, oh, that mezcal comes through. There's not an overly smoky mezcal. So I think this is actually like a quite a nice balance of smoky, earthy, vegetal kind of tones coming through the drink. It's very interesting when you have these expectations in your head. Like, I was thinking that this was going to be like really over the top and clovey and spicy, but it's surprisingly the Angostura is tamed by the other ingredients. I like that. Any mezcal fans in the house? Do me a puff of smoke emoji. Bear with me, guys. A little bit of cleaning up, keep my space tidy. I've got one person that's a fan of mezcal so far. One smoke emoji. That is a delicious drink. I really like this. I like the way that the mezcal plays off with the almond and the bitters. Excellent drinks, simple drinks, but focused on flavour. Not really a mezcal fan, but I like this single village fix. Have you already made one? Danger Will Robinson had never had mezcal. Do you like things like Isla whiskey, like something smoky, something peated? Okay, backing it up straight into another mezcal cocktail, the single village fix. This one we have mezcal, lime juice, and pineapple gum syrup. So again, pineapple and lime, pine lime, those flavors work like very, very well together. Then you get that smokiness, like you think of like charred pineapple. So mezcal and that pineapple flavor works really nicely together. Now, a fix is a category of cocktails very similar to the sour. This one is going to be served a little bit differently because traditionally, typically, I think the fix is served over ice in a short glass. The single village fix is actually served up, so no ice. A fix is usually like a sour where it has spirit, citrus, and sweetener. And usually the sweetness comes from a fruit or juice as opposed to like just a simple syrup. So it's very, very similar to a sour, but usually it's served on the rocks, like over pebble ice, say. So this is a bit of a variation, a little bit different from the norm for a fix, but I tried it a long time ago, and it is a fantastic cocktail. And as well, you can interchange this. You could change over, if you don't have a bottle of mezcal, I saw there's quite a few comments of people that haven't actually tried mezcal, then you can change this over, change it over to a rye whiskey. Rye whiskey, I think, will pair better with a lemon juice instead of lime. So change the lime juice to lemon. Maybe instead of a pineapple gum syrup, you use the peach syrup. Or if you use a bourbon, the peach syrup will bring out those stone fruit notes. So you can start to interchange and swap with these cocktails. They're super flexible. Use them as templates. Then we have 3/4 ounce of pineapple gum syrup. So this is going to add the intense pineapple flavour, sweetness and texture. Then we balance that out with the lime juice, 3/4 ounce. Taylor, never had mezcal, but this sounds awesome. Can I use a good añejo tequila instead of mezcal? Absolutely. I mean, like, it's 100% going to be a very different drink. if you're subbing the mezcal for an añejo tequila, like an aged tequila, you're going to get less agave notes compared to a blanco tequila. You're going to get more woody, oaky, vanilla kind of characteristics from the maturation in the barrel. And then the mezcal typically has like earthy, vegetal, smoky characteristics, depending on how they go with their production techniques. So they will be very different drinks, but absolutely you can change it over and it will still make an excellent drink. It just won't be this drink, that's all. All right, how many people do we have on? Whew, 340. Welcome to all the new people that have jumped on board. We're running through celebrating Liberalia Festival, which is a festival after a Roman god from ancient times. It's this little guy on the top of the Library & Co bottle. This is the first Liberalia week that started on the March 17th. That Library & Co, the first one that they'll be doing, celebrating every year, and they're offering 20% off site-wide, and they're running a cocktail competition which is judged by a very famous bartender. I apologise, I can't remember his name, but very well-known bartender, and then hosting like workshops and all kinds of stuff and discounts, and yeah, so they'll be doing this every year. So single village fix, mezcal, lime juice, pineapple gum. (10 to 12 seconds is the ideal time to shake. Your cocktail will start to reach equilibrium, meaning that it's not going to get much colder, and therefore it's not going to add much more dilution. It's not going to add more aeration. So it's like any more shaking over time, it will like dilute slightly, chill. Like it's going to slow down a lot. So if you're shaking for 20 seconds, it's not going to make much difference. Sorry, that was a mouthful. With these simple drinks, I like that a lot of these are ungarnished. I'm a simple man. All right. An excellent drink that just goes to show that you can make a fantastic cocktail with minimal ingredients. And this is what my channel is all about, not overcomplicating things and trying to make cocktails more accessible to people. Some people find cocktails, when they're getting started at least, to be very daunting, but once you get started into it and you can make something like this and taste it, it's pretty easy. Oh. I'd probably want to use something a little bit smokier for my liking. It's still there and it still plays really nicely with the pineapple gum syrup, but a little bit more smoke would be awesome. Can't have this one, I'm allergic to pineapple. Oh no, yeah, don't drink this. Amanda asks, why do you strain in the sieve during your pour? So why do I fine strain? This one here will capture all your small pieces of, like especially when you're using like a lemon and lime juice, you'll potentially have bits of pip, pulp, possibly. I always fine strain before I put it in the bottle, but fine straining will also stop any ice shards going through. Otherwise, if you don't use it, and there's potentially, depending how you shake, depending on the size of your ice that you use, there could be lots of tiny pieces of ice floating on the top of your drink. They'll melt, add more dilution, and water down your drink. So, fine strain. Gary used Del Maguey Vita, very smoky. Yes, I've usually got Vita on the shelf, and I think I used Vita last time I made this. You just get like charred pineapple on the nose. That is fantastic. Oop, almost lost a drink on the floor. Okay, we're already 5 drinks in. We've got a couple more to go. I'll take a second to give a pause between drinks, and if anyone's got any questions, fire them away, and I'll focus on the chat just for a couple of minutes. Love the pro tips and techniques. Thank you, Betty. Yeah, if anyone's got any particular questions about technique or anything, then I'm more than happy to spend a few minutes elaborating. I'll spend a few minutes here, but then also at the end I'll have a general Q&A where we can just hang out and chat, if you guys are keen, of course. Dustin says, how long do bitters last? High ABV, like their bitters will last indefinitely. In saying that, I do have this little bitters bottle, which is the same bitters here, but because it actually has a little plastic stopper, but whenever it's warm in here, the plastic topper comes off. I do get some evaporation from this. So as long as you've got your bitters in a sealed bottle, this will keep indefinitely. If you keep it in a bottle like this where you can get some evaporation, it slowly dissipates. Like if I haven't been in my studio for a couple of weeks and it's been warm, I'll definitely notice that the level of this has dropped. But yes, bitters is high proof, with the exception of something like Fee Brothers. Fee Brothers is low alcoholic, so it's 9%. It's a glycerin-based bitters, so therefore I'm not sure about the shelf life of this, but most other bitters are usually about 40-50% ABV. And ethanol is a fantastic preservative. All right, I'll go through a couple of quick questions. I'm a newbie, so Rick said, did you say a fix is served straight up with no ice and then you shook it with ice? So typically a fix is a shaken cocktail and then it's strained over ice into an old-fashioned glass. So that's full of pebble ice, lots of small pieces of ice, and then you strain it over the top into that. But you still shake it. And that adds the dilution, chills your drink, adds texture and everything as well. That's typically how a fix is served. I just wanted to note that whilst I was making the drink, because the way I served it, which is the original recipe, is not typically how you make a fix. But I mean, you can serve drinks how you like, whatever you prefer. Maybe an old fashioned you want to serve up. Sure, go for it. Do you have any recommended drinks that combine rum and Campari other than a Jungle Bird? Rum and Campari. Probably not off the top of my head, except for something like a rum Negroni or rum Boulevardier or something like that. But yeah, not off the top of my head. My mind just automatically goes to Jungle Bird. Can we get the cocktail roast back, Steve? I would like to do the roast again. If you watched it, I probably wasn't very good at roasting people's cocktails. I was a little bit too nice. I need to be meaner. When is the iOS version of your app launching? Very, very soon. I've been saying that for way too long. I'm just waiting on the developer. So, well, I'm waiting on yes, long story, but soon, hopefully. Taylor, anything with juices shaken typically? Typically, yes. Yeah, there's only very few ingredients, very few cocktails that have juice that are stirred. And usually if it is, it might be like a quarter ounce of lemon or lime juice, maybe. It's not very common. Yeah, if it's got juice, typically it's shaken. Rob, Javier, Kingston Negroni. Absolutely, of course. Yeah, if you want to pair rum and Campari, a Kingston Negroni is a great option. And it calls for a very specific rum, which is Smith & Cross, which is a Jamaican pot stilled rum, high ABV, full of flavour, full of Jamaican funk. So I think this is actually owned by an English company. Smith & Cross, very unique rum. Kingston Negroni, delicious. I always get like kind of chocolatey vibes from that drink. Okay, let's get back to the next drink. This one is a Smoky Peach Sour, a creation of mine. Very, very easy riff on a whiskey sour. This one I'm going to serve over ice with bourbon, Islay whiskey, lemon juice, peach. Can you see all the ingredients on screen? Yes, you can. Just have a sip of my very cold tea. And then for garnish, I'm going to garnish this one with a sprig of mint. Mint's looking a little bit old. Definitely not the greatest looking mint. This one here, because we're using, so it's a whiskey sour. First of all, start with that. So whiskey sour being whiskey. So typically, like a standard kind of ratio is 2 ounces of whiskey, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. That's kind of like a staple recipe. So I'm using that recipe, and then I'm adding a little bit of Islay whiskey, a single malt Scotch whiskey that's produced on the Isle of Islay, and most of their whiskies they use the peat bog to dry out their grain, and therefore it just gives the whiskey this like real peaty, smoky characteristic. So usually when you mix this in a cocktail, you only want to use very small portions, and then I'm changing over the sweetener to peach, Yakima peach syrup, Liber & Co syrup, because I feel like you have stone fruit in bourbon whiskey, sweeter style whiskey, so it pairs nicely with the syrup. And then, you know, you think of like, some people like roasted peach on the barbecue and put that in a salad, so therefore that kind of like smoky peach flavor. I think these flavors work really well together. But because you have the intensity of the Islay whiskey, specifically Lefroy, which is quite smoky, I'm going to serve this over pebble ice to add the additional dilution. And when I do that, I'm going to shake it very briefly. 2 ounces of your choice of bourbon. This one sits at 50%, yeah, 100 proof. Now I tried this with like half an ounce of Islay whiskey. I liked it. My wife was like, no way. So depending on how much smoke you like, you can vary this up. So 1/4 ounce of an Islay whiskey, 3/4 ounce of lemon juice, and peach syrup. As I said, this is, I'm not sure exactly, but it's in the similar realm of a 2-to-1, so I treat it like a rich syrup, so therefore half an ounce. So rich syrup, for those who don't know, is 2 parts sugar to 1 part water, so therefore it's 33% sweeter than a simple syrup, which is 1 part water to 1 part sugar. So you don't need to use as much, essentially. So, because I'm serving this over pebble ice, as I said, I'm going to shake it briefly just to combine the ingredients, just to add a little bit of aeration. I don't want to chill it and dilute it too much because the pebble ice will do that work for me. When you use pebble ice, it increases the surface area of the ice. So 1 large cube has less surface area than lots of pebble ice. And because of that increased surface ratio, you will get dilution and chilling much faster. So pebble ice, otherwise you can crush your own ice at home if you don't have the convenience of a pebble ice machine. Oh, spilt some. Like I said, just a brief shake. And that extra dilution through using pebble ice, you don't have to, you can still serve over cubed ice, but I think that extra dilution will help tame the Islay whiskey and that smokiness. And for the person who asked about double straining, typically if you're straining like this over more ice, you could do away with the fine straining. It's more so when you're serving up, but you might want to fine strain if it's completely up to you. Top it up with pebble ice, and then if you didn't have fresh mint in your garden, then you can use a lemon wheel or something like that. But I feel like it's got smoky stone fruit flavors, so therefore I want to use the mint to brighten it up. And because it's on pebble ice, probably serve it with a straw, make it easy to drink. Cheers, guys. Oh, that's intense. 350 people on. Awesome. Thank you for any new people that have joined. Yeah, so I think the pebble ice does help tame that Islay whiskey, adds more dilution. Essentially makes it a little bit more palatable. Otherwise it can be very intense. Doug Tooley on the chat, welcome. Yeah, just a 1/4 ounce is all you need in a cocktail, and that smokiness. Obviously it depends on the whiskey you use, but something like Lafroig, which is overly smoky, comes through very easy. Welcome, Doug. Did you just jump in? Did you just join? A little bit of a tidy up. So for anyone that has just joined or missed the start, this will still be available as a recording on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch the start part if you like. Rusty Bartender, OG whiskey sour has no egg whites. With an egg white, I think it's referred to as a Boston sour. Yes, most people, when they order a whiskey sour, they probably expect it to come with egg white, but the traditional version has no egg white. Add egg white to a whiskey sour, it becomes a Boston sour. But that's if you want to be really finicky. Oh, Doug's been watching for a while. Awesome. Porrick, I don't really get as much peach flavour in the sour than I do in the Goodbye Peach. Obviously, it's a whiskey versus cognac and rum. Yes, I'll be interested, Porrick, what kind of whiskey you used. Admittedly, this whiskey was a little bit more robust, sitting at 50%, so likewise. Gary loves that last one, wife hates it. All right, guys, here's the bonus cocktail. So originally the plan was to do 6, and then depending on time was to do a 7th, but I only discovered this cocktail, the 7th cocktail, very recently, so no matter what, once I tried it, I was like, it has to go on the list. It has to be made, has to be done. So we have a Pisco Punch, incredibly simple drink. Goes on the similar kind of format to the Single Village Fix. You start to see some similarities, and the Single Village Fix is just a variation of sour. So you've got the 2 ounces of spirit, 3/4 ounce of sour, 3/4 ounce of sweetener. And then likewise with the Pisco Punch. Same measurements, just a different spirit, different citrus. In this case, same sweetener. But then you can start to really get creative yourself. Also just make use of what spirits that you have in your cupboard. You know, you might see this drink and go, well, I don't have any Pisco. I'll substitute it for, I don't know, rye whiskey. Rye whiskey and lemon work well. Whiskey and pineapple work well. Pineapple gum syrup. 3 ingredients, nice and simple. I do believe this cocktail, the Pisco Punch, is the drink this is the reason you need Pisco. So for those that aren't familiar, Pisco is an unaged brandy. This particular one is from Peru, and yeah, it's this cocktail is the reason you should have a bottle on hand at all times. Okay, so same ratios as a sour. 2 ounces of Pisco. This particular one here is from Peru, but it's actually locally owned. I believe they have, the family has some heritage over in Pisco, and they get it produced over there by someone, not sure if they know friends or family or what have you, and then import it back into Australia. And it's their own brand here in Australia. Then we have pineapple gum syrup. As I said, I was about to do a massive measure then. 3/4 ounce, as I mentioned earlier, 60% pineapple juice from Costa Rican pineapples, and then gum arabic. I don't think I elaborated on gum arabic a lot, but it comes in it can come in like little granules, or if you're mixing into beverages such as what Liber & Co would be using, they'd be using it in powder form. You kind of have to rehydrate it, takes some time, it takes a bit of equipment. It's kind of messy if you're trying to do it at home, but the texture that it adds into the syrup is just, it's really good. At my distillery, we're actually working on a few liqueurs, and I was inspired by Liber & Co syrups to use gum arabic in those as well. So it's, yeah, adds a lot to the finished drink as well. 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. So this drink was first created in San Francisco, which seems strange. Peruvian Pisco, unaged brandy, cocktail invented in San Francisco. Other drinks invented in San Francisco, maybe not invented, but the Irish coffee was popularized there, the Buena Vista Cafe. And what else? The Mai Tai, not specifically in San Fran, but across the river, if I'm correct. My geography is not great of the US. There's a couple of cocktails, very, very well-known cocktails that have come out of San Fran. What kind of jigger did you use? This particular one here is by a bar above. No, it's not. It's not this one. Or is it? Yes, it is, sorry. This one's by a bar above, and I absolutely love their jiggers for, there's other jiggers that have incremental measurements on the inside, but this one has 1/4 ounce and a bar spoon on there. So it just has extra lines so you can do different measurements. So this is the one I've got off camera right here. I used to sell barware for a living. So I've got so many jiggers. These ones just sit there, and I rinse and reuse this one instead of going for the convenient option and just grabbing one of these. So a bar above. Ice, shake for 10, 12 seconds. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, for those people that just joined, I'll be running through a Q&A session. So get thinking, put some questions at the top of mind. Christina, you still there? We also use, there you go, Christina from Liber & Co. Also loves using a bar above. Such a good brand, love it. Full disclosure, I have worked with them once, but apart from that, I just love using their range. I still have heaps of products from stuff that I used to sell on my old website, and I still reach for a bar above. This is an a bar above tin. And the reason I like using their tins is because they hold a nice tight seal, but separate easily at the same time. All right, guys, we're getting to the tail end. As far as garnish goes, you could do a twist if you like. Otherwise, a wheel, dehydrated lemon or fresh, completely up to you. Sat in the center, dropped in. So the guy that created the Pisco Punch, like 1950s, he had a tincture. So a tincture is like a bitters, but more one-dimensional, not like, it doesn't have bittering agents. And it's still a secret to this day of what they use in that particular recipe. But they use a tincture that contains makrut lime leaf. So there's a lime leaf in a small lime leaf tincture that's added into this cocktail before you shake it. But this is kind of like the readily known recipe that everyone uses. Alternatively, you could use lime zest and do a regal shake, which means add the lime zest into your shaker before shaking. You'll get the lime oils. It's definitely not the same as makrut lime leaf, but it'll kind of get you in the ballpark. Pisco Punch. Get yourself a bottle of Pisco. Do it now. Jump online, order one. So good. Like again, I keep going back to Liber & Co.'s syrups. I'm working in partnership with them, but the viscosity, the texture that it adds into the drink, the use of gum arabic in a syrup translates into, it's a stabilizer as well. So therefore you're going to get more retention in your foam, in your drink. So it adds to the finished drink so much. Fantastic drink, so good. Gary, my first time drinking Pisco and I love this cocktail. Gary, have you made all 7 of these drinks? You keep chiming in at each one, which I like. I appreciate that. Craig, any cocktails using Peroni Reds like I'm drinking now? I've never been a fan of beer cocktails, so I haven't really dived into that area. Christian, looking great, man. Glad to see you still doing your thing. Yeah, thanks, man. Definitely a few life changes after that whole heart surgery thing, but I'm doing well. Thank you. Please describe Pisco as it's not really popular in the US. It's an unaged brandy, so I don't know. I can't talk about the production techniques. There's a difference between Chilean and Peruvian Pisco. I can't remember off the top of my head which one is which, but one of them, there is a rule where, so it's made from grapes, and once they distill, they can't actually dilute it back down. So for instance, the way I can explain it is we make this gin, it comes off our still at 84%. Then we add water and we dilute it back down to 42%. I'm not sure if it's Peruvian or Chilean Pisco, they're not allowed to add water. So therefore, if it comes off of the still, they obviously aim for a lower ABV, but if it comes off the still at 50%, then that's what it stays. And doing it that way tends to retain a fuller flavour. But yeah, it's an unaged grape brandy. Santiago, what is your other favourite Pisco drink? To be honest, I was gifted this 6 years ago. That's how much Pisco I've used. So I haven't tried a lot of Pisco drinks. So I can't really comment on what's my favourite. This is my favourite. Christian, Steve, how's it going down under? It's good, thanks. Cool, all right. That is all of the cocktails that we've run through. Just a reminder that you can check out the link in the description below to grab the recipe book. So if you haven't been able to make a cocktail or all of the cocktails, you can always revisit this. This video will be available on the channel indefinitely moving forward. So you can recreate them by watching the video, grab the recipe ebook. Liber & Co has also extended 20% off on a pack that includes, is it 20% off or might be more? There's a pack where you can buy these 3 syrups. That's discounted on the website. They're also running other sales, plenty of other stuff going on. This will be an annual thing. So yeah, an annual celebration of the Roman god Liberalia. All right, if you want to fire away any questions, let's have a little bit of a casual Q&A time. Still 330 people. Damn. Thanks for hanging, guys. Yeah, fire away any questions, whether it's about Library & Co, the channel, me, I don't know what you guys want to know. Threefold. Niall says egg white is for a Pisco sour. This is a Pisco Punch. Yes. It's very unlike, I'm not sure why it's called a Pisco Punch, to be honest, because I think a punch is more, my definition is quite different, where typically you have like spices and whatnot. Artichoke Hold makes great use of Cynar and Orgeat. That's a great use for the guy looking for a Library & Co Cynar cocktail. Frank, got to go back and check the beginning. Like I said, yeah, it'll be available. E. Ray says, have I missed your bitters launch? No. I have a bottle floating around here. Bitters launch. That is my bitters right there. Chocolate bitters, I'm just starting off with the one to begin with, then I'll do orange bitters and aromatic bitters. I'm just waiting for the labels to be printed. I don't have approval for the States, so I might do pre-orders for the States, I don't know, and then once the approval comes through, I'll send it. Yeah. Of all the regions in the world, what region do you most like drinks from? Like Caribbean tiki or American bourbon? So the finished drinks or the spirits? Just clarify that. Porrick, sorry, the chat keeps moving. Doug Tooley, any news on your bitters? Yep, coming. Sorry, this chat, that's moving too fast for me. Great show, thank you, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Peruvian Paloma is a Pisco drink. Yeah, that was probably one of my very first videos on the channel. I don't know why I did a Peruvian Paloma as one of the first, but yeah. Someone said, I can't find it now. Someone asked about what it's like selling gin. I don't really sell gin. We have a team of people and we have a brand ambassador. She does all the sales side of things. At the moment, I'm helping with the R&D of a new product that should be coming out within the next couple of months, which is very, very exciting. I'm pumped about that. So I've been in charge of the R&D pretty much solely for that. Usually it's R&D for Threefold is more of like a team thing, whereas this time it's just myself taking charge. Pisco sour question, dry shake, then add ice and shake again. James. So I actually saw a couple of posts by Jeffrey Morgenthaler and Giuseppe Gonzalez, and they were just like, they're old school bartenders. They're like, we don't dry shake, we just single shake, when I was doing events, I would just single shake. As long as you have a good solid shake, that egg white is just gonna like emulsify, add texture to the drink, create a beautiful foam. You don't really need to dry shake. I've only been dry shaking for the channel because I think that that's what I should be doing. So yeah, dry shake if you want. You don't have to. As long as you give it a good solid shake, then it's going to add nice texture to your drink. And if you're using an alternative to egg whites, such as like Fee Foamer or Miraculous Foaming Bitters or whatever it's called, just single shake. Don't worry about dry shaking. Rusty Bartender. Hypothetically, if a random Irish fella buys you a pint of Guinness this Saturday night, will you split the G? I'm not sure what split the G is, but Rusty Bartender has a YouTube channel that you guys should go check out. And he started a bit of a challenge where he's making every single cocktail from my cocktail book. We're catching up on the weekend because I'm going interstate to work a gin festival, going to Melbourne. Favorite TV show right now? I've been watching a lot of Alone. They send 10 participants, I think, and they get 10 items into random parts of Canada that's in the middle of winter, and they have to survive for as long as they can. No one dies, by the way. Aquavit, just for sipping or any cocktails? I've only used Aquavit a couple of times, to be honest, and I've mixed it into cocktails. Thoughts on the Caretaker's Cottage? Is that a bar in Melbourne or Sydney? I haven't been there. I don't know. Sorry, just to run through. I'm trying to catch up with the questions, guys. G'day, mate. Can you explain the process of making the sugar gum syrups and what textures, flavors they introduce? The gum arabic, I've only got xanthan gum at the moment, but similar kind of, sorry guys. It's a powder. It comes in a powder form, and I use xanthan gum in frozen cocktails, and it adds more texture, and it prevents the cocktail from separating after you've blended all the ingredients together. Gum arabic is similar, but you can't kind of do it a la minute. You can't just throw it in the blender and blend it together and it works. Gum arabic has to be rehydrated, so I think it can take like 24 hours. Heat will help with it rehydrating. So you essentially have to make like a gum arabic syrup and then use that in your bigger batch of syrup. Essentially, I haven't made gum arabic or haven't used gum arabic in a lot of syrups. I've only started recently playing around because we're doing liqueurs at threefold. But yeah, I don't have the need for making gum syrups because I use Library Code. Feel like a man should know how to whip up some cocktails for a guest. This guy, thanks for making me more a man. Ricardo, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hi Steve, watching from San Francisco. Awesome. How do you keep your mint looking beautiful? Do you have it in water or is there some special trick I should know about? Yes, this actually looks a lot better than in person. There's a few bits that are looking a bit manky, but in saying that, I've had this mint in the fridge for probably a week, which is fairly long. So I have taken it out of its bag, but whilst it's in the fridge, I store it in water. So this tin is half full of water, and I keep it in the bag. The bag's got holes so it can drink water. That's how I've been keeping it in the fridge, and it keeps for like a week, so it keeps for a reasonable amount of time. I usually have fresh mint in my garden, but it's been so hot here that the mint just completely died. Alternatively, if you buy mint and you plan on using it within the next like 3, 4, 5 days, you're hosting an event, then you can pick off the garnishes, pick off the sprigs, and you can pick off the individual leaves, put it in a PC, like plastic container, use a chucks, I don't know if it's called chucks in other places of the world as well, essentially like a dishcloth that doesn't have any aromas or anything added to it. It's just a dishcloth that's wet, so it's moist. Lay it inside the plastic container, put your mint sprigs or your mint leaves, fold it over, close the container. It's got a little bit of moisture in there so it stays hydrated and the mint stays fresh and nice and aromatic. But obviously use your mint as the fresher the better. Do you have a favorite cocktail book? Yes. That's my book, by the way. Outside of that, I've got too many books. I have got probably 100 different cocktail books. A Spot at the Bar is from the team from the Everly, which just recently closed down, the Melbourne group. I don't like the fact that it doesn't have photos. It's got little illustrations, but there's tons and tons of recipes in there. Mostly classics, mostly easy cocktails that you can recreate at home. And when it shows a cocktail, it says like, substitute rye whiskey and you can make this, substitute gin and you can make this. And it just shows all these different variations. That's really cool. For a first cocktail book, maybe the Bar book, which is more technique driven, or Steve the Bartender's Cocktail Guide, or Regarding Cocktails, which is by Sasha Petrowski and his wife. Sorry, I can't remember his name. So her name, sorry. Regarding Cocktails, very good cocktail book as well. But common gripe with these books is they don't have photos. So many cocktail books, even if they have photos, they have a photo for every fourth cocktail, and it frustrates me. You want to be able to see the cocktail and get inspired by that photo, then make it. And also, when you're making it, you know what it's meant to look like. Betty, will you be doing more of these live streams? Yes. Yeah, I need to do more. I haven't done one in a while. I have been hosting workshops quite regularly. In saying that, I haven't done one for a little bit, but which is overdue. Yeah, but I do host workshops. I recently bought my first bottle of Strega. Any suggestions for cocktails? I have tasted Strega probably 15, 20 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. So again, not helpful, sorry. Christina, so I'm still catching up on comments. Thank you for chiming in with the recipe. Any more questions, guys? I'm getting towards the bottom. God damn it, I keep losing my spot. Nice work, man. Good info, great drinks. Thank you, Welsh Dog. What's a good variation of a Black Manhattan? I like them with an Isla. What was the one I did? I did one recently in a video. Chocolate bit. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't answer straight off the top of my head. But there's a particular cocktail. The Gentleman's something or something. Anyways, I can't remember. How long do the Library & Co syrups last, and do you have to refrigerate after opening? That is the most common question I get. The common question about shelf life and do I have to put it in the fridge? Yes, put your ingredients in the fridge. If it doesn't contain like more than 15%, 20% alcohol, then yes, keep it in the fridge. If it's wine-based, keep it in the fridge. If it's a syrup, keep it in the fridge. Always keep your cocktail ingredients in the fridge. Like if it's a spirit, no, don't worry about it. As far as shelf life goes, these syrups keep like a rich syrup, a 2-to-1 syrup, and made in a commercial environment, which is clean, and they've got like, you know, some acids in there as well, which also act as a preservative in addition to the sugar. These syrups last a very long time. The Library & Co team first sent me syrups, I couldn't even tell you, but a long time ago. I've still got some on the shelf. They're perfectly fine, full of flavor, lots of aromas. I've opened some a long time ago and they're still sitting in the fridge, and they still, there's nothing bad about them. They're good. But yeah, keep stuff in the fridge. I mean, you could keep it on the shelf. It just won't last as long. Christina, is Liber going to make bitters someday? I have a stock of your syrups. Thank you for introducing me to cocktails. You're welcome. No worries. Yeah, introduced a few years ago. Was that during 2020? I had like a huge amount of people that always come up to me and thank me for getting them started in cocktails, and it was because of 2020. All right, down to 250 viewers. I think it's getting towards the tail end. Last round of questions, guys. Thank you for putting this on, says Ryan. I love your book and reference it often. My question for you, is there a substitute for Green Chartreuse? The Luxardo, I can't remember the name of it, but Luxardo they've been making it for a long time, but it's only readily available in the US as of the last month or two. I've seen a lot of people do comparisons with Green Chartreuse and Luxardo's one, and they're saying like that is the closest one. But I haven't tried it myself. But just from what I've seen, that seems to be the case. If you're in Australia, like I said, Imperial Measures Distilling do an Auverte, A-U-V-E-R-T-E. That's the first product he's made where he's actually trying to replicate another product that's available. So it's the same color, it's the same ABV, same flavor profile, and you line it up in the last word and it's like ever so slight difference, but that was his goal. Imperial Measures Distilling. Thoughts on Caretaker's Cottage? I got to that one. Favorite colour drink you've made? Favorite colour drink? Probably flavour's more important, I think. I've had some pretty, like, I don't know, the industry sour. It's a sour with Fernet and Orgeat maybe. Comes out looking like pond water. It looks disgusting, but it's an interesting flavour. Rhino, Steve, you're very famous in Japan, by the way. All of my bartenders watch your videos. Ah, awesome, thank you. I've actually discussed doing a trip to Japan and inviting anyone who is willing to come with me. So Rhino, if you can connect with me on Instagram, send me a DM and we'll start chatting, because I might be doing a trip over there. That'd be awesome. Thoughts on celebrity booze? It can be done properly, but it seems that most don't. But I haven't tried a lot of celebrity booze, so I can't really comment too much on it. The R&D better not be a canned cocktail. We've talked about doing canned cocktails, and if we do, they will be good canned cocktails. They won't be bad ones, but that's not what it is for. It's for a popular liqueur. That's all I can say. Do you have a favourite non-alcoholic whiskey? If so, what brand? No, I don't have a favourite non-alcoholic spirit of any kind. I've tried a whole bunch. I don't like any of them, to be honest. I feel like they've essentially, in a spirit, it's like the ethanol that carries the oils and carries the flavors best. If you have something that's just purely water content and then oils in it, there's shorter shelf life and the oils dissipate and the flavor's weak. So I'm not a fan of non-alcoholic spirits. I have tried some non-alcoholic liqueurs or non-alcoholic aperitivos that I have liked, but that's kind of a different story because it's got a lot more going on, different flavors and stuff. But like a gin and whiskey, a rum, I've been sent some really, really bad ones. Someone wanted to work with me years ago, and I was like, I just can't. Your products, I didn't say it in these words, but like, your product is so bad that you do not want to work with me. Otherwise, I will say very horrible things about your product. I didn't tell that to him, but it was shocking. Ryan, shake with one big rock or less ice, no need for a dry shake. Yeah, that's another good point, Rhino. If you're shaking, especially when you've got egg in there, the bigger the ice, generally the better the aeration. But it also slows down dilution, so you kind of have to take that into account. Forshado, I used to be a Patreon member years ago. I still make espresso martinis. I learned from you ages ago. Great to see you, cheeky smile out and about. Thank you, thank you. And thank you for the support over the years. I appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions for Christina? I did notice Library & Co. did a recent Ask Me Anything on Reddit. Christina should still be here. I think she's still here in the chat, unless I've been taking too long and waffling. But does anyone have any questions for Christina? She's one of the team members from Library & Co. Anything? I did notice a question asking about bitters. Anything about their syrups and availability and stuff like that. My wife says to make sure I smile when I shake her cocktail. Absolutely. Anyone new that's just joined in on the conversation, whoa, someone just tipped me $10. Thank you. Unexpected. Thanks for the people who just joined the live stream. Unfortunately, you've missed out on the cocktails, but this video will be available on the channel moving forward, so you can go back, watch it from the beginning. I've made 7 different cocktails and shared them with you. All simple cocktails, all easy to replicate at home. Dude, have a sip with the drink in front of you. Okay, yes, boss. If you come down to New Orleans, definitely go to Latitude 29, fantastic beach bum berry tiki bar. I would love to attend Tales of the Cocktail this year. Absolutely. I've been wanting to go for the last couple of years, but me and my wife keep having babies. But yeah, heading to the States and heading to Tales of the Cocktail was high on my list of things to do. Sorry guys, just catching up on questions. Chris, thank you for the tip. What is the brand of Foma? Brand of Foma. The brand of Foma I've used is Miss Better Bitters Miraculous Foma. That's the one I use most often. And then there's another local Australian one. I can't think of the name. Yeah, I've tried a few different foamers and there's some bad ones out there. If you're in Australia, I haven't tested it yet. Easy Foam. Someone from Tasmania has sent me this. I'm yet to test it out, as I said, so I can't comment on that one. Any sure way to get a nice layer of foam on something, on a cocktail that has something like jalapenos in it, even with a vegetable-based foaming agent and dry shake, I can't get it thick enough. When you say jalapenos, is it like fresh jalapeno in like a margarita shaken? Yeah, Christina, any tours of the plant? We're unfortunately not able to host tours since our facility is not customer facing. I've seen photos and I've seen the facilities in the back of a video when I was chatting to Alex, one of the team members. It looks impressive. So from what I understand, Library & Co started back in 2011. It was three founders, Christina? Yeah, three founders got together and they were making like syrups, but they were focusing on quality, sourcing like the best possible ingredients they could. And it wasn't until 2013 they moved to a facility in Texas, and then recently in 2023 they've upgraded their facility. They moved from Austin to Georgetown, Texas, and it's all custom built purely for making syrups. The facility looks like absolutely incredible. But yeah, their focus is on sourcing, like I said, the peaches here are, like, I don't know because I'm not from the States, but Washington State's Yakima Valley peaches are apparently the best in the country. Pineapples, Costa Rica, like tropical region that produce fantastic pineapples. And yeah, so all the ingredients are sourced from the best producers they can find so that they can make the greatest possible syrups they can. But yeah, located in, I would love to visit. Hey, Christina, if I come, can I come check out the facility, please? John, going back to the jalapenos. Kind of like that, yes. I've blended it with avocados and some other stuff like lime juice and green apple juice. I think the avocado will give you that creaminess, but it obviously won't get you the foam. I feel like the avocado would kill a foam, maybe. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just think it would. Yeah, if anyone has any like questions at any time, you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm always happy to help people. I reply to all my messages. Come take the Bourbon Trail in the US. Shannon, I would absolutely love to. Gary, Porik, guys, thank you for the super chats. I appreciate it. Great class of great cocktails. What's your favorite tiki cocktail? I don't know, probably just Mai Tai. But because I've got the channel, I will try a cocktail. I absolutely love it, but it probably won't go into my regular rotation because I'm too busy making like 100 other drinks over the next, year or so. So even when I find a drink that I really like, I probably don't make it on the regular, purely because I have the channel. Do more live streams, please. This was amazing. I never taken out ice so fast in my life. Thank you, Porik. This has been another great workshop, Steve. Really enjoyable. Thanks also to Library & Co. I need to leave early. I'm not disappearing on you guys. I'm still answering Q&A questions. But I must say, on behalf of Library & Co, thank you for joining the first annual Liberalia celebrations. I've got a couple of links in the description to get a copy of the cocktail book, but also to get 20% off their syrups. They've got a massive range of syrups, like 20 plus syrups, and they're working on more at the moment. So thank you for them. I have partnered with them. I'm a bit of a online ambassador. So you have seen in the past, and you will continue to see plenty of their syrups on the channel. So thank you for their support, and thank you for partnering up with me for today's cocktail hour. Thank you, Randy. Just what I needed. Hey, Randy, happy birthday, mate. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good day. 7 cocktails up under your belt to get started. Heat always kills foam. That's why I thought the jalapenos might be the issue. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, but like heat, like temperature, where there's jalapenos, like that's capsicum. What's the actual spiciness from jalapenos? Can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I think that's different though. I wouldn't think that would kill a foam. What time is it in Australia? It is 12 o'clock. The new Library & Co bottles look cool. Yes, they're awesome. 2 different sizes too, big and little. One probably, a little bit more friendly for home users, and then one for bars. If you're, say, obsessed with Mai Tais, you make Mai Tais all the time, then a bigger bottle at home would be suited. And as I said, they last indefinitely. Don't quote me on that. A long time, very long time, years. What's your favourite go-to cocktail when you used to drink? Always classics, always simple drinks, or variations of classics. I was going to say like Negroni or something, but I haven't had a Negroni in so long, unless it's for the channel. Like, I only taste cocktails these days because of the channel. Like, I have not gone out for a drink for 18 months at least. Any other international cocktail scenes thank you for all the questions, guys. Normally I host a workshop and I get like crickets at the end and I get like 2 questions. So this is great, I'm enjoying this. Any other international cocktail scenes you'd like to explore? I'd love to go back to Europe. Last time I was in Europe was, I don't know, 15 years ago. I've never been to the States, so going to the US is high on my list. Yeah, there's plenty of places I'd love to go to. Mexico. I actually had a tequila brand, Cascanas. You guys, if you follow other cocktail creators, you probably noticed that everyone went on a trip. I got invited to that trip, but it was like right after my heart surgery, so I couldn't go, so I said no to that, unfortunately. And then I had another brand, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they invited me, they asked for my passport, they asked for all my details, and then they realized I was Australian, I lived in Australia, and they cancelled. They cancelled on me. They didn't want to fly me there. So I got uninvited to a trip to Mexico. I was devastated. Bartholomew, the 3-pack is sold out. Christina, is it actually sold out, or is it? Can you answer that question, please? Yeah, but as far as international scenes, Japan, I had a company get in touch and they wanted to organise called Tour Hero, and they organise trips on behalf of creators and YouTubers and whatnot. And you essentially invite people along, you go along on a trip and go to different places around the world. So they've put this idea in my head about organising a trip, and I put a poll up, and Japan was I put Japan, Mexico, and Italy, somewhere else, and Japan followed by Mexico were the 2 top places. So I think I want to organise a trip to Japan and invite whoever wants to come. One more drink, Steve. A stir down on impulse. Holy moly, Purik. Did you just... 60 euros? Whoa. That was awfully generous. Pour it. Thank you. So I can't say no, can I? This is going to be incredibly lazy because I have a Boulevardier sitting in my barrel. I can't remember if it's a chocolate Boulevardier or just a plain Boulevardier. I mixed it a while ago. I am concerned that it's going to be over oaked. Over oaked meaning that actually I'm doing a very lazy Boulevardier. I'm just pouring it over ice rather than in a mixing glass. So I'm worried it's over oaked, meaning that there is it's been in the barrel for too long, so therefore it's going to have too much oak flavour imparted from the wood on the liquid. So Boulevardier being bourbon, sweet vermouth, and Campari. So it's been in there for a little while, and because the barrel is so small, this is only a litre, there is more contact, more surface area with the wood and the liquid. If you think if I have a 200 litre barrel, there's far less wood touching the liquid, so it's going to take a lot longer for it to mature and to age and to impart that oak flavour on the liquid, whether it be a whiskey, a brandy, or a cocktail. So tiny little barrel. Typically, you probably only want to age for like a couple of weeks at max to be able to get that oaky flavour and the vanillas and all that kind of stuff imparted on your cocktail. But yeah, sorry, that was a bit long-winded. Oh, someone's stolen my, no, there we go. It's already left open. So Boulevardier, bourbon whiskey, sweet vermouth, Campari. I'm only going to give it a short stir because the barrel kind of like softens and melds all the flavours. Could probably do a twist if I'm feeling fancy. It's a lazy twist. I've still got 200 people. It's capsicum, I think you were referring to. Yeah, I think so. How do you make your pebble ice? Smashing it with a cleaver isn't the same. Karen, I absolutely agree. Smashing it with like a Lewis bag and a mallet just makes really tiny crushed ice. You need a pebble ice machine, which I have the one from GE. Not cheap, but I have a channel. It's a tax write-off for me, so it's, yeah. If I was making a cocktails at home, I would just crush my ice with a Lewis bag, unless I was tiki mad. If I was tiki mad then, and I was making Mai Tais and other tropical drinks, then I would probably have a pebble ice machine on my kitchen bench. I only use it because I have the channel. Whoa, yeah, that's oaky. That's been in the barrel for way too long. It's good, but it's very oaky. Viv, yep, just checked. Oh, okay, Christina. Apologies. My bad. I thought that was still available. Yeah, you can still get good discounts on other items, and if you buy items individually. Porrick, thank you. That's very kind of you. Great cocktails in the ebook. Yeah, if you guys haven't downloaded the ebook, grab a copy. It's really well put together by the Library & Co team. And if you are looking for recipes, head to the Library & Co website, because the content they create, first of all on YouTube, is super underappreciated. They do a lot of excellent videos. Obviously it's based all around their syrups, but their content is fantastic. So check out the Library & Co channel, and also their website, because there's well over 800 recipes, and they're all good quality recipes. They all have good quality photos. It's super rare to find a website that has put that much effort into their content. I don't know, using Difford's Guide, for example, there's like probably 10,000 recipes on there, but they have woeful images of every single drink that's on there. Head to Library & Co, 800 quality recipes, all fantastic photos that will help inspire you and help you to choose what drink you want to make. Have you ever tried smoking a drink? If so, how'd you like it? Yes, I have. I've got a couple of different options for smoking. Like, I think I'd prefer to integrate smoke into it. I think it's more of a showpiece. When you're serving a drink to a guest and you pull off a cloche and the smoke billowing everywhere, I think I'd be more inclined to incorporate smoke through either mezcal or an Islay whiskey, personally. Great for presentation, though. Shannon, as another viewer said, yes, smoking is great. Yeah, I think it's like, I think the flavor imparted is, for the effort put into it, is not a lot, but for the showy, for the visuals, it's impressive. Ruby says you can get jagged pebbles using a food processor. Gary bought the GE Opal pebble machine. Not cheap, but it's really worth it. Your favorite fellow cocktail creator. Some feelings are going to be hurt. Other channels to check out, which you guys are probably familiar with. Anders Ericsson. His wife is a videographer, photographer, so like the videos and the way it's all put together is fantastic, and he's very knowledgeable. Educated Barfly, you guys are all familiar with him. Like, recipes are super reliable. Any drink that he makes, you know, will be good, and the specs that he uses, and he does a lot of research, and he just like does so much content. I think we've been going for a similar amount of time. I've probably shared like 750 videos on YouTube. I think he's done 1,300. He's almost done double the amount of videos on me, and especially recently, he's just like very, very busy, and different content as well, because he's based in the States. He does like home bar tours and everything like that. Kevin Koss, more technical stuff. That's a good channel. Gene Felix, likewise, more technical. There's heaps of small channels out there that are amazing. There's too many to mention. Porrick, any news on your iOS app? Yes, it's coming. I don't have much more than that. It's just, I keep saying it's coming, and it should be coming soon. Thank you so much. You made all the drinks. Kirsten, I hope you were sharing the drinks with someone else. Love your cocktail book, so informative, and love the photos and QR codes. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of effort was put into that. My favorite is the Lucky Day, followed by the Smoky Peach Sour. Oh, I'm glad you like the Smoky Peach Sour, number 2. Appreciate that. Did you already say best technique for foaming egg whites in a drink? Someone did ask about that. Reverse dry shaking is going to get you a slightly bigger foam, meaning shake with ice, strain it out, dry shake, then pour it. But I don't do that. It just seems counterintuitive to spend your time chilling your drink, and then pouring it into a tin with your warm hands, and then slightly warming your drink and then pouring it out. Seems counterintuitive to me, and for what? For like an extra millimeter or two of foam. I did say before, just single shake or dry shake. All right, guys. There's still 225 people listening to me. I'm going to call it a day soon. So just last couple of questions. Thanks for the live event. We've been watching you for years and are fans of Library & Co products. We made all 7 drinks plus a couple on our own with all the ingredients we had out. Do it again. Thank you, Scott. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, guys, thank you, first of all, for tuning in, for supporting the channel. Also, if you are on the lookout for syrups, like Library & Co is the go-to. Fantastic syrups, and that's why he's on the channel. Steve skipped my question. Not on purpose. Here we go. Hi, Steve. Here's a softball. What's your favourite sour? My buddy and I made our favourite whiskey sours the other night based on your vid. So creamy and tasty. We used egg whites, of course. Favourite sour of all time? Or like favourite whiskey sour? Because in that video, picked one of them as my favourite, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Jacob, thank you. You guys are super... Wow, thank you. Very grateful. Tony, what are your measurements for a good jungle bird recipe? The one in my book. If you don't have my book, then just DM me on Instagram and I'll send you a screenshot of the book. No problems. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've made too many cocktails to be able to remember them all. Favorite elderflower cocktail? Is it sunflower? Sunflower, is that elderflower? Can anyone comment if cocktail? Yeah, sunflower. Excellent drink. Hey, welcome, Vino. Who this but a strapping Aussie? Vino, welcome, the Progress Bar. There you go. When I was talking about good cocktail channels, the Progress Bar. It's 2:45 a.m. in Germany and you are live. Yes, it's only midday here. You missed the live, yes, sorry Vino. I'm like literally 30 seconds away, a minute away from checking out, from saying goodbye. I've been waffling for almost 2 hours. Can you do the next one on a Friday? Gary, yes. Typically I do them on Saturday mornings, which is a Friday evening for people in the States. It was just to line up with the dates for Liberalia, for the celebrations, for this session. Brian, don't stress if you've missed it. It'll still be available on YouTube, so you can just watch it anytime. You can just, even from now, you can rewind to the start. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you. Huge shout out to Library & Co. for the team there for putting together the book and helping organising today's live stream. If you're interested to join me to go to Japan, DM me on Instagram because I'll organise a trip there. Releasing my bitters soon. So much going on. But yeah, thank you guys for your support. Thank you for watching. Go to Library & Co. and grab yourself a bottle of Orgeat. Do it. ACB, thanks for subscribing. Barris, what's this drink? I actually just made 7 cocktails as part of the live cocktail hour. And then last minute, I just poured out what was in my barrel, which was a Boulevardier. So bourbon, sweet vermouth, and Campari. It's been sitting in the barrel for a little bit too long. It's only a tiny barrel, so there's too much oak influence. So yeah, I've taken it too far. All right, thanks guys. Until next time, have a fantastic weekend.